going into the must needs and wants from up here, you guys all submitted basically all the same stuff. So number one must, edge rusher. Was the single most repeated must, critical need for a high impact pass rusher to change the games or close out games. 2, inside linebacker. Many listed a starting level inside linebacker as a top priority with a mindset to acquire at least 2 starters this offseason with desires for leadership and or speed. Good there? I think those are the top 2 things that we can do to help us make the playoffs, all right?
All right. Ruben Bane, Miami.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about him again.
A guy's going to come in and he's going to do everything that he needs to do to be prepared and to be a good football player. He puts a ton of time into football. Like, he loves to work. He loves to train. He's out there all the time getting, working on his pass rush stuff, hitting sleds.
He's got really, really good hands. Like, he just knows how to rush. He has a plan. He converts them quickly. He's powerful.
Every person who played Ruben Bane said he was absolutely the hardest person to play. He's a difference maker.
Is there any chance he gets to 15?
I don't think so.
All right, Trotter. He's physical on the inside, good instincts, good tackler, strong on contact. He shows some ability as a blitzer. Like I said in December meetings, he's the only backer I've seen in my area actually strike blocks. I think he's violent to blocks, and I think that's a rare thing in this league. But he's a leader in the room he's the one that comes into meetings on Monday with all the game plan stuff. He's giving the coach tips and reminders and stuff before the week even starts. Gives it to his teammates. Like, he's that type of leader. He's exactly what you would think from a guy whose brother played in the league, dad was in the league for a long time. All he does is football.
I did feel like this was a guy who would bring edge and like tone setting in the middle of our defense that we talk about, the way he hits people.
When you go back to the Super Bowl year when we had, those good defenses, one of the things that we could do really well was affect the passer.
Oh, what a hit! He's running for his life. Sometimes dreams become nightmares pretty quickly.
That was kind of what we were just looking for. When we lost guys like JPP and Sue and even now with Levante being gone, like, we just needed to replace some of their physicality and the way they played the game. Shaq Barrett's the world, guys like that. I think we missed those guys a lot.
With all the injuries last year and some of the free agents getting a little bit up there in age, how much are you leaning on this draft?
We lean on the draft every year. We think we do a good job bringing guys out. We have 5 guys that contributed from last year's draft, and the previous couple drafts we had a lot of guys that contribute, but we always sign or try to find some key free agents that can help us going forward, but definitely the draft is something we're looking forward to.
Where do you feel your biggest gap is with creating depth in the depth chart?
I think we need depth everywhere. We really do need depth everywhere right now. Probably because we only have 2 inside backers under contract. You can say linebacker right now, but there's a few other spots that we need depth that we got to address.
Every combine interview is different, right? Like, because you're dealing with people. Guys like me, that's kind of my first exposure to talking to them. Smile on his face when you saw him. Mike Beal, good to meet you. Nice to meet you. Have a seat. Do you know Coach Caldwell?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Do tell.
Me and the dad played together.
I'm waiting for it. I do think that there's some advantages to growing up around the game, being in an NFL locker room as a kid and kind of seeing the way things are done and having those resources to rely on with somebody who's played the game and kind of been through what Josiah's about to go through. Talk to us a little bit about your weekly routine. You just described a little bit with your preparation, but just how'd you go about that?
Yeah, so like if I finish the game on Saturday, I'm going home, watching the game with my dad. Then I'm gonna watch the most recent 3 games of the team that we're gonna play, or the biggest games they had during that time. Watch like the first half, get a feel for them. Maybe if I catch anything during that time period. Thursday after walkthrough, get the defense together. We watch film, kind of go through our third down stuff, or our first down, second down calls. Kind of by the point I get to Thursday, I'm pretty much at the end of my prep, trying to just clean up point at that time, make sure we're on the same page.
Did you get a lot of that from your dad, or is it something you learned along the way?
Just along the way. It's kind of different for all of us. How my brother does it, how he did it, whatever. It was just the easiest for me, how I just kind of went about it and just continue just learning over time, whatever was easiest for me.
I think mentally it helps you from a football standpoint, especially if you play the same position as your father played. You know, you can't help but watch and pick up things as a kid, and you're like a sponge. You pick everything up, and he had an older brother that plays in Philly that also helped him do things, so it was kind of written in his future that he's going to be a linebacker and a football player.
Describe your game a little bit, like your strengths and like things you think you need to work on.
I feel like, my strengths are just, block destruction, playing the run, being the blitz, use my hands from that standpoint and, get guys lined up and then just, be able to anticipate, use my instincts and then continue just to be able to work on my, my consistent level within my passing game. If it show teams I can do that at the National Football League, whatever aspect or scheme I'm in, whether it's match, playing Tampa 2, whatever it is, that I can do it, man or zone.
Just his intelligence, his instincts, his toughness, demeanor. Like, of course, you talk about the pedigree he has with his dad playing in the league for so long. He's got a brother in the league. If you watch him play the game, like, you can see that he understands how to play the game, and he's been taught the right way.
Josiah Trotter.
And not only taught the right way from an understanding of X's and O's and the instincts part of it, but just the physicality and the toughness that he plays with. He just kind of checked all his boxes we look for in a middle linebacker and, hopefully a future replacement for Levante.
The Bucs, with the 46th pick of the 2026 NFL Draft, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers select Josiah Trotter, linebacker, Missouri.
I'm never going to compare anybody to Levante David. He has those qualities, though, as far as the potential to have an impact on our defense and the locker room as a whole. He just gets the game, too. Not only his ability to learn, but also his ability to help others learn. He's well on his way to being a leader. Now he's got to get here and get in the locker room and prove it to these veterans. But he's got a chance to be pretty good, I think.
With Levante retiring, holding that mantle for so many years and being the guy that everybody goes to and looks to, it kind of opened the door for other guys to step up and take a leadership role. Getting bigger, we wanted some different type of pieces and looked a little differently than last year. And Anzalone being like 6'2 plus gives us that length, and as well as Trotter gives us that length, and we got some size up front.
Levante, not only just is he a great player, but the impact he made on his team, his organization, be it someone like myself who wants to be able to reach that level, that's just someone that you're going to look up to. You're a young guy coming in, they want to see, hey, can this guy be consistent? Can I count on this guy? There's 11 guys out there, everyone has a job, everyone has something they know they have to do, and not trying to do anything more than your 111th, and just execute it to the best of your ability.
Come in, it's so different from college. Then you have to learn the entire playbook and comprehending all of that in the spring. So when they come back in training camp, they can play solid, they can play fast, and they can play loud as far as their voices are concerned, and that helps you get the trust of everybody.
First up there. You got the jitters out? Yeah, I was all right, I'm all right now.
Trotter, he kind of remind me of the general, man. You can tell Trotter the kind of person to know where the play going before it happens. With that person on the field, you ain't got no choice but to listen.
Me and Ruben, especially when we're both defensive guys that come in, being the first and second pick, and just to be able to talk to each other, lean on each other, whatever the case is, whatever it may be. It's just, knowing and trusting the process, but holding each other accountable to whatever it is and what we want of our goals.
I would expect Ruben to be a big part of our defense as far as, whether he starts or if he's in the rotation. I just think, again, the energy, the effort, the toughness, the grit that he brings is contagious too, and I just look forward to seeing how it's all going to play out.
I'm all about ball. Coming in each and every day to have a great practice. Make sure my next rep better than my last rep. I have fun while I'm out there, but flying around, being violent, being aggressive, and being smart.
He doesn't get enough credit for how smart he is. He plays very hard, and he's never down the middle of anybody. He always has an angle, he always has an edge, and he's always going forward.
Got an itch to compete for some reason. Stepping on the green each and every day, I get to kind of scratch that itch. Levante, every day I drive home, I see his picture on the stadium. Next year, I want that to be me. I want them to be having my face all over the city because it's something I'm taking pride in. I'm in Tampa, I'm home. I'm not too much on the chirpy side, when we step on the field and the defense is up, you're going to feel our presence. You don't have to say anything, but you'll see it.
Just turning on the tape and watching the way that the whole Miami defense played this year, they were just tough and physical. I mean, they got after it, and Ruben Bane was a big part of that.
What was different about Miami this year and the success you had in the playoff run?
The discipline and leadership we had as a whole program, as a team. It wasn't just one side of the ball. It was every side of the ball, every phase of the game. The mentality and brotherhood we had.
What changed though? I mean, like, was it a player-driven thing or?
Player-driven, but also just the bond you built. You built that bond over years and years of us being there. And it's the same core players that was here this year was the same guys that was on there when it was ugly at 5 and 7 and 7 and 6.
He just came in and, like I said, he was so laser focused, business-like. You know, it wasn't a lot of small talk. It was just, let's get down to ball and let's figure out who I am. And he was great.
What's a successful career look like for you?
Winning career for one organization, giving my all for the organization. Getting my jersey retired in that Hall of Fame. Just trusting him, getting the trust of my teammates, that program, any coach I play for, just knowing that I'm the best player to do it.
Before we turn over to Coach Foote and you leave this room, like, what do we need to know about Ruben Bane? Like, what's something that you want us to remember about you?
That I'm a worker, I'm versatile, no matter the hype or none, that don't matter to me. I couldn't play football each and every day. No matter if I was getting paid, if I wasn't, I couldn't play football. This is what I love to do. I feel like I play all 4 downs, even special teams. I don't just get off the field when it's punt save or it's field goal block. I'm playing from the first down. I want to play the run. I want to rush the pass. I want to rush the punt, the field goal kick. I love it.
You love ball?
Love it.
Love it?
Love it.
You enjoy the film process during the week?
Yes,
study?
sir. I watch film each and every day. I made it mandatory for the D-line. They didn't. They had to see me in the end zone.
See you in the end zone?
They was rolling.
What do that mean, see you?
They rolling like the length of the field.
Rolling, okay. So you the alpha male of the group?
Something like that.
Hey, Bane, tell all the teams don't pick me. I want to stay in Florida. All right?
Appreciate it, man. We're options, baby.
You got family in Tampa, tell them.
There's so much importance put on that first pick. We feel like that pick is the one that kind of leads the class.
The 2026 NFL Draft is officially open. The Las Vegas Raiders are on the clock.
15's it's a kind of a weird spot to pick. Going into the draft, you always try to predict like who's going to be there, and we're prepared for every situation. We'll always have a pot of players there that will stack the way that we see him, best fit for the Bucs. And there were not very many scenarios where Ruben Bane was in those pods because we thought he was going to be gone.
We had a group of guys that we thought would go early, and we said if they ever fell to 15, we would take him, no questions asked. He was one of the guys in that list. We didn't think he'd get past 12, but once the 12 pick passed away, it started looking more and more like he was going to make it to us, and we really got excited.
Miami has submitted its pick. The Los Angeles Rams are on the clock.
Kate Proctor.
There's always talk about trades, but when you're sitting there and you see a guy like Ruben, potentially fall, like that's when it starts getting exciting. And you want to make sure that you're not doing something crazy and just, giving away everything to go up and get a player like that.
Surprise! Yeah, you offer the 4th and 12th, the 5th and the 6th.
Oh, cool.
I think we have a really good thing as far as the way that our process goes on draft night. I think Jason's just learned over the years the trade backs, the trade ups, and how to do them, when to do them, and I think that he just played it perfectly. Sometimes the best moves are just staying there and making the pick.
Not if we pick them. I know, so that you're a little nervous. That's what I'm saying. I'd be a little nervous going back.
Once the quarterback went and there was a big run on offensive linemen, like then Bane started coming into the conversation, and that's when you kind of start getting a little more excited.
That's what we do, but doesn't would you do that trade, or do you want to wait?
Which one?
That one. The one we said.
If
These are the what's this year? 17, 118, and 128. Yep.
Be committed to the team.
15 and 195.
Gary later what he said. Now, your brother Josh is a wide receiver for the Colts. Your dad
Good.
Gary, a running back in the NFL.
Wait,
How special is it for your family that you now get to carry on this legacy?
Give him a
That's
minute.
awesome,
I'll call you back.
honestly. Guys, Melissa was showing a lot of favor to be in this situation, and I'm so thankful to be here.
now we're basically saying
My family, I can't even say enough words about it. There's a lot of love there.
Congratulations.
Yep.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
I'll tell him that you can.
The quiet excitement of knowing that we're about to get the player that we really, really wanted.
Baltimore has submitted its pick. Tampa Bay is on the clock.
All right.
I think when you get a player like Ruben, who we just didn't think that there was, a high possibility for him to be there at 15, and when that happens, there's probably a little bit more excitement.
There was a lot of excitement. The scouts were jumping for joy. We couldn't believe it. Me and Jason looked at each other like, wow, this is really happening. We can take this guy. We feel like we got a heck of a pick. We feel like we got a heck of a person.
With the 15th pick, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers select Ruben Bane Jr., linebacker, Miami.
Jason, I think a lot of people would say this is a top 10 player that slid down to 15. Is this just too good to pass up?
Yeah, absolutely. There were very few scenarios where we thought he'd be there, but there was scenarios, and we're very excited. So it's probably never seen a more excited draft room.
When you have a pick like that and there's that much excitement, it just kind of makes everything that we do worthwhile, and just to get to see everything come to fruition, knowing that you're adding a good player and knowing all the hard work, the effort that went into making that pick is really fun.
I feel like we go to the Super Bowl right now. That's my mindset. Anything I just want to win it all.
I want to win a Super Bowl every year and put the team goals first.
It's a different vibe than it has been in the past. We're not just punching the clock here, and guys got their head down and they understand what's ahead.
The coaches we're going to have to continue to be the nastiest, the most violent, the most physical people on the field.